Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishnan Nair. Here, basically, we are discussing about the formula topic, and in formula topic, we have discussed up to 162 parts. Basically, so 162 part is, I think, huge. Basically, huge. So here, basically, we are discussing about the project management plan, PMI Institute, and the balance sheets prepared by the PMI groups. Basically. So PMI groups are basically telling that we have created hundreds of balance sheet just to create one attributes, so that basically the each and every software companies can enter the value inside that attribute. So which value is going to enter by the which software company, that is basically decided by the that 100 balance sheet. So you can just imagine the depthness level basically where the PMI groups basically are doing, and the USA basically, that is, and how to what level basically USA has done, and you can just imagine also. So here basically in last two three parts basically what we have saw, the things basically which we have saw, that is basically what we see, sorry, which we saw, that is basically uh, the things basically which we saw, few examples of the capsicums, of the sales industry, of the mega sales industry, basically how the sales industry is working in the sales software side, and how basically we have taken few examples of the malls example, that how basically malls groups are handling the uh, sales, how the base of the sales is connected with the education, that is basically the three example basically I have taken of the three colleges example. One is the MS University, that is Maharaja Sahajirao Gaikwad. Then basically it's the Harvard, and then basically it's the Oxford University. So these three colleges example we have already taken, and many more examples we have taken. So in this basically we have discussed that how the sales industry is working nowadays, and previously also it was working that way only, but it was not disclosed in front of the public basically. But nowadays the energy levels are there, the artificial intelligence softwares are there, so there are many techniques and many technologies which basically directly connects to the direct information on the base of which the things are getting happening. So here basically the how the mall industry is working, how the malls are basically doing the productions, each and everything basically we have saw, right? Now basically we this all are the basically you can say the things basically which we saw, that 1 lakh people working in MS, sorry, 1 lakh MBA group basically joined in MS University, that is basically Maharaja Sahajirao Gaikwad University. Then 1 lakh people had done the study from Harvard, and 1 lakh basically students studied from the Oxford University, and how the things are getting basically happened, how the base of the sales basically was created by these colleges. So these all are basically the basic part of the sales industry. So this one the normal sales people also knows, who basically are into the sales basically, you can say. So sales basically who basically are when basically they enters into the sales, and their group basically give the training, and they give the training up to this level only, that there is something basically base. So what is that base, that basically they tells their supervisors, so sorry, their employees basically, you can say. It's basically if everybody anybody reporting to him, that basically it's connected to the employees. So here basically we saw this all this thing, and this all are basically basic of the sales industry. Now here the what is the advanced thing basically which we are going to see, that is basically we are going to see just now in this part, that is basically 163rd number part. So what is the advanced thing basically? The advanced sales group basically, that are basically the top level sales industry group, what they know and what the normal people that are basically the small sales group people, they don't know. So what are those things? And what are the things basically the Public don't know, and the government knows. What are things that? What are these all the things basically that we are going to discuss in this part? In this basically topic here, that is basically 163rd number part. So the things is basically, for example, the top level mall industry, for example, there is one mall, and he is the head of the department of the mall, one person. So he basically is telling that uh, we basically got the all the materials on the base of this nuclear plant data. So he told that basically we have got this data, that is basically the materials inside the mall which they got, that is their basically base means on the base of which the materials, all materials, for example human needs in mall, basically what we get: biscuits, like we get cold drinks, we get water, we get, then each and every wheats we get, rice we get, vegetables we get, fruits we get, and lots of things basically human needs, with Cadbury chocolates we get, and many non-veg thing basically we get, and then clothes we get, many things basically we get. Each and every human need whatever is required, whatever things basically is required in 24 hours, whatever the activities we do in 24 hours, that each and every human needs, that he gets from the mall. So the mall basically director, basically that was the top level director, he told that we are getting the human needs, uh, which basically just now we got the materials, that is basically the human needs, that we got from this nuclear plant company. So he know basically what nuclear plant are doing, and up to what level the things are happening. So that's why he kept the track, that this stock basically which we got in the mall just now, that basically has got from, they had this the group which they sent the mall materials inside the all the human needs which are basically containing in the mall, that basically is given by the nuclear plant company. That the company name is also written in the diary, basically in the basically is personal information, or in the some document of the malls, basically where basically each and every information are kept. Or basically you can say there are SAP industry, who basically SAP company is there. The SAP basically company keeps the each and every critical information also. So in that basically he stated that, he written that this material which we got from this from this no sorry, the materials which we got in this mall just now, that basically we got from the this nuclear plant. And he basically written the nuclear plant information and the address and each and everything basically he has written, and how many power companies and the energy companies this nuclear plant is connected. So he written each and everything in that SAP software, basically you can say, or in the diary basically of the personal information. So he has written this. Now basically this is basically the advanced level of sales basically which is ongoing. Now the next level of sales was, then basically he got the information from one of the nuclear, he basically was connected with the nuclear plant company and the power companies and the energy companies basically, who basically are going to do the future level of process of this materials, when the this materials human needs basically goes inside the body of the humans. After that basically the process are going to be done by this nuclear plant companies and the energy companies and the power companies. So that's why basically he was connected with the set of groups. So what he told, that he asked basically one of the nuclear plant power plant employees, and he was basically the top level employees in the nuclear power plant. And this small person, the mall basically, in this mall basically he was also leading the one of the top level as an employee. He was basically the director of the malls basically. So he was the highest basically in the designation. So he asked that top level executive in the nuclear plant where he is working that what actually these materials are going to generate. Then basically the person nuclear plant company told that we are basically generating these planets. Then he told that which planet? The planet basically, basically the planet is equal to blood cells, and blood cells is equal to ideas basically, the thinking basically how the human thinks. That is basically connected with the planets. So if I say that mathematics calculation which you are thinking, that is connected with one of the planet basically you can say. Then basically he told that yeah basically that I know basically little bit. So which idea, which energy basically this planet is going to generate in the universe, and when basically on which or planets are going to use this planet's ideas basically you can say. So he told that in basically that planet new language is going to generate, and the new human generation is going to happen, and newly basically the planet is created newly, and not a single time basically the human has stayed there human basically has never stayed in that planet basically. The human basically was not, never basically exist in this planet. So first time basically human is going to in that planet. That's why basically this planet is going to the planet basically which we are creating from this small material, that is going to connect with that people's body structure bodies inside the blood cells, and that planet is going to connect with this planet, this human basically, who are going to stay in that planet. And in that basically they are going to generate few views basically you can say, the thinking basic level we are going to generate. Then basically equal to which thinking level basically you can say. The thinking level was basically the power of the energy basically you can say. The first basically you require the power of the human body basically. Then basically education comes into the picture, and education is also required basically. So this all energies basically is going to generate from the planet basically. So that planet we are creating from this mole, this material which we got just now, that is going to generate this all uh, energy and information for that particular planet. So this salesperson basically of the mall, just see the upper level designation of the sales people. So that sales director basically who was basically the connected with the nuclear power, power plant company, he told that this planet is going. What is the planet name basically? Have you decided basically? Then he told yeah basically the scientific name basically we know that is this number and these characters basically. So he has taken that number and written in the diary. Yeah, this is the number, and but the name basically which is in front of the public, that basically we have not decided yet. That basically we will decide on the base of certain formulas basically. For that we have connected with few groups basically who are basically connected with the universe, that is basically the Bollywood industry, the Hollywood industry, the software groups, the accounting groups, the medical industry, each and everything basically groups basically we are going to discuss that what name basically we are going to put here for this planet, and this planet number basically and the character we have already given, that is basically the scientific name. So we basically know that which ideas and which energies is going to generate from this planet, and which type of blood cells is going to generate it from this planet. Blood cells means the views basically how he is going to think basically. That is basically by default blood cells. So he is going to think up to this level, that basically we are going to generate from this mold, sorry, from these malls materials, and which these malls materials our these cities are going to city human people are going to consume, and their body their bodies basically are going to generate some energy, and that energy is going to collected by the set of nuclear companies, power companies, and energy companies, and they are going to do some certain process so that basically these energies will connect to the universe, and the planet's creation will happen, and that planet is going to generate these views, these ideas, and this level of thinking basically. So this small person told that, oh, that's great basically. So you are basically that this nuclear power plant company, and this currently which malls consuming the materials, sorry, the giving the materials to the public, are basically connected with this planet creation. Yeah, then basically, so oh yeah, that's great. That's great. So like this, basically the big malls like Reliance, Tata, TC, sorry, TC, no, TCS is a software company. So Tata is a mall, Chroma is a mall. Like this, Chroma basically supplies electronics materials. So there are basically many malls like Spencer Mall is there, then Big Bazaar Mall is there, Reliance Mall is there, then D-Mart is there, then South Asia Mall is there. There are basically many malls in the market, and each and every malls are basically generating this all materials. So this all basically the mall groups basically that are basically who are basically into the big level sales industry, who says that we have reached up to the certain level, and there is no, we are at the top level. So this basically is connected with those group basically who are telling that we are at the top level, and we are telling that we know each and everything. So this basically can understand those groups only. The normal salespeople only though loan what they knows, they only knows the schemes which is getting generated in front of the public, that this rate is going to be, this rate is calculated according to this, and this rate each and everything basically are connected with the chartered accountant and the costing groups. They decide what is the universal rate of this particular material. So you can just imagine the sales industry also, up to what level the sales industries are connected. So human bodies are connected, you can say. So basically you can say the Amazon, Microsoft, SAP, Python, Python, SAP, Salesforce, these all are basically generating their energies, and that are also basically by default going to use for this planet creation basically. So these groups, you can say the software groups basically who are generating the energies, their basically energies are also going to create one planet one day, and that is also going, and mostly basically might have created many planets also, because it's already I think 70 80 years for of the software industry which came into the market. So it's already 70 80 years. So in 70 80 years basically lots of planets might have created. So basically we can't disclose the name basically because I also don't know the name, but mostly it might be in very big number, big bulk number you can say, because I have taken one example of the mall. uh, so it's basically connected with the stock industry also. So the stock industry basically, so you can say that stock is one of the biggest industry also, because they know this level stock basically which is supplying to the city, which is consumed by the mall groups, each and every mall, they are basically going to get this type of materials. So that stock industry basically, that is basically the company stock industry groups, they are keeping track of this or each and every stock level data, that this level of stock data we have sent to the this city and to this all malls, and these malls are going to generate sorry, these all malls are going to give the materials to these all people, and these all people are going to consume these mall materials and going to generate these energies, and this energies is going to generate this planet, and this planet is going to generate these ideas and views and the level of thinking. So basically the sales industry says that we have reached up to this level, and we know that which nuclear power plant is going to give the data, So each and every you can say the, for example, there are 10 times stock going to come to the mall, and that is going to come to the mall from which nuclear plant, power plant, and which energies and the which power companies are going to generate the after process data. That all data basically the more industry that are basically the top level industry groups, they all know. So this is basically the formula here. Basically, this is basically connected with the education level of the sales, and this all are basically by default. Uh, this all are basically Harvard basically University and the Oxford University and the Maharaja Sahajirao Gaikwad University, who basically teach the MBA. So they might be basically teaching this all these things because these all are the basic thing basically you can say that why you are doing the sales of this material. So you should know basically why you are doing the materials sale and for which purpose you are doing the sales material. So you that basically is this all of the basic thing. The later on basically up to what level this material is going to be the things are going to be used, that is basically the after process. But the basic thing that basically the MBA industry, that is basically the MBA teaching groups basically, that is the Harvard, Oxford, and Maharaja Sahajirao Gaikwad University. This basically by default they teaches because it's a normal thing basically. This is basically the normal part of the sales industry. So the higher level of sales basically we have not discussed yet. So this is basically you can say that just now basically we have discussed about the planets that is little bit higher level of the sales, and this basically the top level of the mall industry, big post people, that is basically the higher level post people, they basically know. So this is basically 163rd part, and in 164 basically we are going to discuss a little bit more about the formulas and the Bollywood industry and the colleges like Harvard, Oxford, and Maharaja Sahajirao Gaikwad University, who basically are teaching the MBA and giving the MBA degree.